And that right there is the perfect representation of the American taxation and social service systems. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. My name's Luke Radowski here of WeAreChange.org, and there's a lot of absolutely bewildering, crazy news to get into today, as of course things are not all right, especially when it comes to all the political news inside of the United States, even inside of Poland, as of course we have an international disaster on our hands that is slowly and surely getting completely out of hand, just like a lot of crazy Western women who soon probably will be going back to their womanly ways if there's a potential draft. We're going to be talking about that, plus the surprising way that the United States is now involved in this larger conflict, all here on this independent media broadcast. If you like the shirt that I'm wearing, you could get it on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. And the clip that we played in the beginning of this broadcast was shared by No Context Humans on Twitter. They usually share a lot of crazy and wild content out there. Who exactly and what kind of African country shot this particular video? I don't know, but if you do, let me know so we could attribute them correctly. As of course, I couldn't not use the analogy that I did for the introduction video, as it was the first thing that kind of came to mind here, especially when it comes to all the theft that the American people are forced to go through in order to finance larger conflicts and bloodshed all around the world, which Janet Yellen says, yeah, we absolutely have enough money for. Yeah, we're going to talk about her in just a little bit. But before we do, let's talk about a little bit of the domestic news, as of course, let's not forget that a lot of your hard-earned money isn't going to social causes, but to, of course, career-corrupted politicians that with their friends in the multinational corporations are using it in order to launder it for their own personal benefit, as we are finding out more fraud schemes by the Biden family, that now we're finding out routinely abused business loans for personal expenses like, Philadelphia Eagles season tickets, as this is just one of the many accusations and documentation that we have of the Biden family clearly rigging the system to enrich themselves, which they have done very handsomely, while their main chief political opponent faces nearly 750 years in jail in a particular case where today, that man, the former president of the United States, Donald Trump, was just gagged again and prevented and restricted from talking about particular aspects of the Biden administration's prosecution of him over the presidential elections, as a lot of people are pointing to the fact that we definitely do not have an impartial justice system, but a very biased one with sponsored and financed district attorneys that go after political thought rather than actual crimes in major cities, which are escalating. And this is one reason out of many reasons why there has been a backlash against politics as usual, which Ben Shapiro, an online right-wing commentator, can't wait to return to normal, as today he came out against U.S. Congressmember Matt Gaetz, mocking him and calling for House Republicans to elect a speaker already. Since, there's probably some military funding and larger transfer of wealth to the special interest groups that Ben Shapiro really wants to see, as of course Congress has not been meeting the demands of the American people for a very long time. It is a failed institution. It does not work for the American people. It only works for the special interests, and Ben Shapiro's comments here are very telling, as well as his recent comments, which we are going to be talking about later on today on LukeUnfiltered.com, as of course I have a lot of things I want to get off my chest, especially when it comes to my larger disappointment of a lot of people in the alternative media sphere that have absolutely no principles and have backtracked on the larger ideas that they have professed for so long, allegedly believe in, but of course they just completely wavered on when the situation became just a little bit uncomfortable. So we're going to be talking about that all on a special broadcast for members of LukeUnfiltered.com, as well as some other issues that are too spicy to talk about here on this broadcast. But I particularly wanted to tell you about a new product that we just launched here. As of course, these are the supplements that we have, that we make, that we produce, and we sell here for you. The latest of one is, of course, magnesium glycinate. As, of course, a lot of people are not getting enough magnesium. You need magnesium in order to process vitamin D, which is key and essential for your health. And if you're looking for something to help you sleep, this is something that I personally take before I go to sleep. It helps you chill out. It helps you relax. It helps you get deep and REM sleep, which is essential for your recovery. This is something that I like. I think you will too. So check out WeAreChangeDotShop, as we just launched another product that I think is going to help you. I know it helps me. Do your own homework. Do your own research. We have a video here that you could click on and watch and find out more about this particular product, as there are a lot of particular benefits towards supplementing, since, you know, our food supply is directly under attack, and a lot of the food we eat aren't filled with the nutrients and minerals that they used to be. This is why myself and other online commentators like Joe Rogan believe that supplementing is key and essential to your health. And one reason why I personally do it myself, you should consider it yourself. Talk to your medical professional, talk to your medical doctor, do your labs, check yourself out, then go to WeAreChange.shop and check out the plethora of amazing products that we have available to you that are absolutely key and essential for your health and wellness. And truly, this thing really does help me sleep, which a lot of people are dealing with significant problems and issues with, mainly because of the geopolitical turmoil that we are all facing. Turmoil that just got a little less hectic, as we also are getting reports from Axios that Israel has actually resumed water supply to the south of Gaza, according to the article, because of pressure from the United States. News that is important to talk about, as of course we are dealing with a significant humanitarian crisis on our hands right now inside of Gaza that is only being made worse by the larger conflict that's happening there, that is slowly and surely representing a proxy conflict between the East and the West once again. This has massive humanitarian aid is still stuck at the Egyptian border between Egypt and Gaza, as of course Israel just bombed the border crossing once again, while also launching strikes on many humanitarian and civilian targets, including the United Nations humanitarian aid warehouse in Gaza, which was bombed by Israel, as well as Gaza's Civil Defense Rescue headquarters and a Jordanian field hospital, which were also bombed by Israel. As we're getting reports from the corporate media that 11 staff members, 30 volunteers at this UN school have lost their lives because of this bombing by Israel, as there is still a major issue of humanitarian aid that is not getting into the region. And seeing these types of atrocities, seeing rescue teams, seeing field hospitals, seeing border crossings, seeing humanitarian aid denied to a region that has been cut off from electricity, from the internet, from food and water up until now for a very long time, is something that is creating an outcry in the international community, but also outrage in the Muslim community that could escalate this conflict even further from here, as of course the head of the United Nations just proposed an official humanitarian peace plan, which would see some of the hostages immediately released if Israel would, of course, give access to humanitarian aid and stop laying siege to the civilians in Gaza. This, as many geopolitical and military experts are questioning a lot of the rationale behind Israel's military moves here, as according to Major General Charlie Herbert here, Israel is, quote, unlikely to achieve any of its objectives within Gaza with its ground invasion, as of course many people expect the cycle of violence only to worsen from here, as many other nations look to potentially be involved in this conflict if it continues to escalate where it is right now. And if you look at the countries that Israel is surrounded around, it is countries that do not align with its larger political objectives inside of Gaza. Countries like Saudi Arabia, Iran, Syria, the Hezbollah troops within Lebanon, of course, the country of Qatar, all have voiced very large opposition to the larger military operations that Israel is going after inside of Gaza, And this is why the United States is sending in a lot of its military equipment into the region and now officially deploying U.S. troops into the region, specifically 2,500 U.S. Marines who are now en route to this conflict area, which, of course, could mean an utter disaster for this larger conflict, as we are already seeing the geopolitical posturing of the United States talking about a two-front conflict that they could be bankrolling and financing, as, of course, the President of the United States just had to say this to the American public.
Are the wars in Israel and Ukraine more than the United States can take on at the same time?
We're the United States of America, for God's sake. The most powerful nation in the history, not in the world, in the history of the world. The history of the world. We can take care of both of these and still maintain our overall international defense.
Yeah, the guy struggles to walk upstairs, and for me to have confidence in him handling two very dangerous geopolitical conflicts, as, of course, Janet Yellen even came out and said, yeah, we certainly can afford two wars, officially speaking as the U.S. Treasury Secretary of the United States, as, of course, currently inside of Israel, the American government is charging American citizens for a boat that they're trying to charter in order to get them out there. Yes. So the American government says, yeah, we'll finance all these wars. Military-industrial complex, they'll get their check 100%. But American citizens who need to be rescued? Well, you better pay for that, you son of a gun. That's not free. We're not paying for that. As, of course, American vessels have been chartered to help American citizens evacuate Israel, but those citizens evacuating will have to pay for their journey, which I think is a little bit egregious with the circumstances that we're facing here, as, of course, the U.S. government wants to finance a larger war here, which the president of Russia is calling a conflict that could soon turn into a regional war, and I absolutely agree with that larger sentiment here, as, of course, things are shaping up in a very precarious way where even China is being involved here, calling for Israel to back down and declaring that their actions have gone beyond self-defense, as China, Russia are facing off against the United States, aligning themselves with the Muslim world as the lines are being drawn here, as U.S. troops are being sent into the region, and the President of the United States is postponing his trips because of a potential of a larger conflict that may unfold in the region. So yeah, so the situation is not all right, and it's only going to get worse from here. Strap in, put on your seatbelt, tighten your boots, because holy frickin' cow, this is absolutely maddening and, in my opinion, idiotic. If you agree, share this video with your friends and family members. If you wouldn't be doing that, if you wouldn't be supporting us on WeAreChangeDotShop, if you wouldn't, I got a lot of this stuff. It's hard to sleep sometimes. Hey, I'm telling you. I don't even want to plug this stuff, but I'm plugging this stuff because it's crazy out there, and it's only going to get a lot crazier from here. Unless enough people speak out against this madness. It starts with your voice right now. I love you guys. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. One more video coming your way on LukeUnfiltered.com right after this one. See you there right now.